Today we are going to create three super simple JavaScript games. The first one will be Find Kanye West, where you need to find Kanye West's head among coffee beans, and it will show you the result in seconds. The second game will be Guess the Color, and in this game we will generate a random color and we will take the guess from the user, and we will show if it's correct or not. And the third game is a really simple rock, paper, scissors game where you play against computer. So as always, we start with an empty directory, and inside I'll create another directory for our first game, and it will be called Find Kanye West. Yeah, and inside we will just create an empty index.html, and in this index.html we will put the basic HTML5 structure like this. And now let's see. So the first thing we are going to need is a photo of coffee beans. So I will go to Unsplash, and now let's search for coffee beans. I will take landscape, and now let's see. I think I will take this one because it has like a lot of coffee beans. So let's download medium, and now let's put it here inside Find Kanye West. Yes, let's rename this file to beans.jpg. Yeah, and now we can use it inside our body. So let's maybe put some styling here. So style type text CSS, and now let's maybe open a preview first. So you can drag and drop the index file, or you can open it with your IDE. And now let's see, for our body we want to have a background of URL beans.jpg. Sorry, it shouldn't be .body, it should be just body. Yeah, and it works. Now we want also to change the background size to cover, so it covers the whole screen. And now we are going to need a head of Kanye West. So I will go to Images Google, and let's search for Kanye West head PNG transparent. And I think I will take this one. Yeah, let's open this one. Yeah, let's download, and we have it here. So let's put it inside our directory. So we have it here. Let's just rename it. So let's do rename, and let's do just head.png. All right, now we can actually put this head somewhere here, maybe here at the top. So here we have body, let's put emg, and the source will be just head.png. So we have it here, but now we need to make it smaller. So let's do emg, and well, let's make it width of, let's try with 100 pixels. Too big, let's do 40. Still too big, let's do 30. I think that is much better, but let's try with 25. Yeah, I think this is much better. I know if you can see it, but it's here. Right, so now we can add some JavaScript. So let's put a script here at the end of our body, and let's see. So the first thing, let's maybe define a function called new game, and this new game function will be called when we load our page. So let's just call it here, and when we do a new game, what do we want to do? We want to position this head at a random position on the page. So let's see, I will click inspect here at this head, and let's see. So I want to first know what is the width and the height of the body, so I can know at what positions I can put this head. So as you can see, now the problem is that both the body and the HTML element don't take the full height of the page. So I will fix it quickly here. Inside our CSS, let's do HTML and body, take height of 100%. Yeah, but let's also remove some default margin that we have here and padding to 0, so we don't have those scroll bars. All right, so now the beans are much bigger, so we can maybe make the head a little bigger. Let's do maybe 35. Yeah, and that's better. And now let's see, the HTML is big, the body is big. So now let's get the width and the height of the body, so we know at what positions we can put this head. So let's define max x to be the body width. So document body, and let's do client width, and this will be the width of our body. But the problem is, if we take maximum position somewhere here, then the image would be placed here. So it will not be visible inside the body. It will be just outside of the body. So we need to do minus here and the width of the head. So it's 35, but let's add some margin. So let's do minus 45. So this is our max X. Now let's do the same for max Y. Max Y, it will be client height. And let's do minus, I don't know, let's do minus 50 to have some margin there. All right, so now we can generate a random X and Y. So let's do const X equals. And well, in here we want to get a random position from 0 to the max width of the body minus this 45. So from 0 to max X. So let's do math random and times max X. Yeah, and this should work. Let's just do math round here. So in case we will get 25 pixels and some decimals. So I will get rid of those and we'll run to the nearest pixel. And now let's do the same for Y. So let's do const Y and it will be random times max. All right, now we can do console log so we can see how the X and Y looks like. And I will go to my console. Let's make it a little bigger so you can see that X has been 109 and Y has became 401. Right, so now we can put this image at this position. So let's get rid of this console log and let's do a document. We need to first grab this image. Let's do query selector. We have only one image on the page inside the body, so we can do just image. And now let's do style and let's do top equals X and we need to add pixels here, and the same will be for the left side, but here I made a mistake. From the top it should be Y and from the left it should be X. So now as you can see it still doesn't work because the head is here, but let's see. We have this head and it got this top and left, but we forgot to actually add the position absolute for this element. So let's do position absolute. Yeah, and now you can see the head is here. But now we need to introduce some gaming experience. So the first thing is I want to have this head cursor when I over the head. So let's do cursor pointer. So now I have a hand cursor. Well, let's see, where is this head now? Okay, it's here. All right, and now let's add another function to give me some score or something when I click on this head. So let's define another function and let's call this one found. And this found function will be called when we click on this image. So let's do on click and let's do found. Okay, so when we click on this head, what do we want to do? We want to maybe display an alert about how long time it took to find Kanye West. So first we need to know when we started searching for this head. So let's put it inside new game. When we start a new game, let's save the current time. So let's do window. So we need to save it outside of those functions. So that's why I'm using window to put it elsewhere. That will be, so the data will be available in both functions. So it's the window start time equals, and then here let's do new date and get time. Yeah, so now the new game has been started. Here we have our head. I can go to console and I can check window start time. And you can see that it's a Unix timestamp with milliseconds. So now let's do that. We will calculate the difference between the current time and the start time. So let's do const and let's call this one find time. So how long time did it take to find the head? And let's do window start time minus the current time. So minus, oh, sorry, it should be another way around. Current date first, new date, get time, minus start time. So if we started at 11:40 and we found it at 11:42, the difference will be 2 minutes. But the result is actually in milliseconds. So now we can do actually alert and let's do find time. And let's see how it works. So if I click, you can see I get 3,497, but this is amount in milliseconds. So we need to divide it by 1000 to get seconds. So let's do const and let's do find seconds and let's do find time divided by 1000. Now we can do find seconds. And I think it would be nice to add some extra text here. So I will add a string here, found in and the amount of seconds, and here I will do seconds. And after we close the alert, let's just initiate a new game or another game. Right, so now let's see if I click here, found in 1.268 seconds. Let's try again, found in 1.3 seconds. Let's try again, here's the head, found in 2.6 seconds. So it works and you can play it forever. So now let's create our another game. I will close this one and I will create a new directory here. And this game will be called Guess the Color. And as always, inside I create a new index.html and let's put some basic HTML5 structure here. I will close this one and I will open preview of our next game. All right, so inside this game, we will need first a box to display a color and then a small input to get the input from the user, to get the answer or the guess from the user. So let's maybe first put a div with class name color box, why not? And then let's put another div called the answer, and inside we will have just an hashtag and an input. The placeholder for this input will be, for example, so we have it here, but now let's put some basic styling so it will look better. So let's do style, and in here first the color box, let's make it display inline block, and maybe let's try to center everything. So I will do body and text align center. Yeah, so it's centered. And maybe before we get the answer, let's put a header here. What's your guess? Yeah, and here above we'll have this random color. So for this color box, let's put the width of, I don't know, 40 pixels, and the same for height. Let's maybe add a little bit of border, 1 pixel solid, and let's do maybe EEE. So we have this small box here. I'll make it a little bit bigger. All right, but now we need to add some JavaScript and we need to generate a random color here. So the first function, let's call this one set random color, and we will run it on the beginning when we load our app. So let's just call it here, set random color. And well, what this function should do, it should get the document element, this one, color box, and it should change the background color of this div. So let's do document query selector, and we can go on this class name called the color box. And now let's do style background color, and let's try with just red for now. Yeah, so this works, but now we need to generate a random color. So thing is that we'll go with only 3 numbers or 3 digits, 3 letters. So it can be from 0 to F for all 3 parts of the color, so RGB. So the first, let's maybe create here a function that will return a random digit or letter from 0 to F. So let's do random, let's call it random number, and this will return like 0 or 5 or 7 or C or E or F, something like this. So first we need to generate a random number from 0 to 15. So let's do const n, let's call it n for random number equals, and here just math random, and times, I think it will be times 15, yes. And now we need to round our number down, I think. So let's do math sale. Let's put it like this, and let's now use our random number function. Or first, maybe let's see if it works. So I will just alert this n, and let's call this one here random number. So we get 9, 14, 13, 4, 15, 3, 10, 10, 2. Yeah, it kind of works. But instead of numbers bigger than 10, it should return a letter. So how can we do this? We can check if the n is bigger than 9, and if it is, we want to actually turn a letter from A, B, C, D, E, something like this. So from this string, we can actually take, like, if it's 10, then we should take A. If it's 11, we should take B. So we can actually do index, not index, but we can go with index this way. So from this string, we can get a specific letter with those brackets here. And let's see, we can't use just n because n can be like 10 and we don't have 10th element. We could add the numbers here on the beginning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this would work, but it's unnecessary. But instead we can do just n minus 10. And well, if the n is 10, then minus 10 will be 0. So the result here will be 0, and the 0 is first element, so it will return A. If the n is 11, then minus 10 will be 1. So inside brackets here we will have 1. So the 1 element will be B, because the 0 is first and the second is 1. So this will work. But if the n is not bigger than 9, we can just return as it is. So if it's 8, we can just return it. Right, so I hope this will work now. But now we need to have 3 of those numbers. So let's define a new constant here called the hex. So the hex color will be random number and another random number and another random number. So 3 numbers next to each other. And let's do alert here and let's do hex. And we get FBB, CFF, 5B1, 6A8, 13B, AC1, 18. This is wrong. And this is wrong because if we get a number here, not a string letter, then if we get 2 numbers in the row, then the JavaScript will try to add them first. So if this one will return like F, but those 2 will return numbers like 3 and 5, then it will try to sum those first. 3 and 5 will be 8, and then it will just add this letter. So to prevent this, we want to transform this integer to a string. And to do this, the easiest way is to just add an empty string. So now it will just work. Everything looks nice now. Right, so we have a random hex color here. Now we need to just put it inside our box. So instead of red, let's add a hashtag here and let's add this hex here. Let's see. And as you can see, we can refresh and we get some random colors. But now we want to know what user put here or submitted here. For now, we have just an input, but as you can see, we have this div here above, and I think we can actually change this div to a form. And on this form, we can actually add a function that will be run on submit. So let's do on submit, and let's maybe call this function submit my guess, yeah, with parentheses because we are calling this function. And let's put this function somewhere here. So let's do function submit my guess. Okay, and when we want to submit our guess, so when we hit, for example, enter here, what do we want to do? We want to first grab the value from this input. So if I put 1, 2, 3 and I hit enter, the first thing I want to do is to grab the value. But one thing before we do this, as you can see, if I do like put the value and I hit enter, the page reloads. This is the default behavior for forms. They're trying to send it inside with the default HTML behavior. So we are trying to send it to a specific destination that we can put here inside our form. Inside action, we can put like where we want to say send it this data. To prevent this, we can just add the return false. And now if I put something here and hit enter, well, we still get this. No, not anymore. Yeah, so this works. If I put enter, nothing happens. And this is what we want to have. So first, let's grab the value of our input. So let's do const and let's maybe do value equals. And now we want to get this input. And because we have only one input on this inside our app, we can do just document query selector and just input here. And we want to grab the value, so let's do that value. Okay, so we have value and that is inside our input. What do we want to do now? We want to check that the value is the same as the color here inside. So let's check if value is the same as the selected color or the current color. We don't know what's the current color, so I will comment this thing for now, but we can grab it from our box. We can either save it here inside our function when we define a hex. We can put it inside a window object or somewhere else, or we can just grab it from our box. So I will do it. So let's do current color equals, and now we can just copy this part, and this should work. Now let's maybe see if this works. Let's do alert, and let's print your guess was current color. No, your guess was value. Let's do dot. The correct answer is, and let's do current color here. Yeah, now let's try. Let's do 1, 2, 3. Enter. Your guess was 1, 2, 3. The correct answer is, well, RGB 153. This will not work. So instead, let's put this hex inside a document or object, or maybe a window object. Let's do window object, and let's put window hex or current color equals. So we save it here. So now we can reuse it. Current color is this. Now let's try again. Let's do 1, 2, 3. Enter. Your guess was 1, 2, 3. The correct answer is C47. Okay, so now we can get rid of this alert, and we can actually compare the values. So if value equals current color, then we can do alert, you are right, and congrats. And otherwise, so else, let's do alert, and let's do wrong. Wrong, your answer was, and now add the hashtag here, and your answer was value, and the correct one is, the correct answer is, and now let's put here current color. Yeah, now let's see if it works. I will be always wrong, so let's do just 1, 3. Wrong, your answer was 1, 2, 3. The correct answer is E41. Yeah, but after I can see I close this alert. What else? Then we should clear this input and refresh our game with new color. So to clean the input, let's grab it like this, and let's set the value to an empty string. And another thing we want to do is to regenerate a random color. So we can actually reuse this function, set random color here, and we can call it again. So if we do, let's do 1, 2, 3, enter. Wrong, your answer was 1, 2, 3. The correct answer is B7. And I clicked OK, and the input has been changed, cleared to empty, and the color has been changed to this green, sorry. If I do again, 3, 2, 1, for example, wrong, your answer was 3, 2, 1. The correct one is 8D1, okay. And the next color, as you can see, is blue, and the input has been cleared for us. All right, so I think that's all for this game. Let's create the third game. So inside our main directory, I'll create another directory, and this one will be called rock, paper, scissors. And inside, let's create a new index.html, and as always, let's put some basic HTML5 structure. We can close this one, and now let's open preview of our last game. Click here. You can always just drag and drop the file. The result will be the same. All right, so here the game is that a user will click one of 3 buttons, and then after clicking, we will generate a random response from our app for computer. So for example, you will have rock, paper, scissors buttons here, and when you click one, we will get a random for a computer, for example, paper, and then underneath we will put the text who won or who lost. if the user won or if the user lost the game. So first we will need 3 buttons. So just do button times 3. And well, in here, we will actually need some icons. And those icons we can actually get from Font Awesome. So here I will search for hand rock. Yeah, but I will filter to 3 icons only. And well, I can see maybe we can take this one, hand back fist. Let's take this one and I will copy SVG code, and inside my HTML I will put this SVG inside the first button. Yeah, now let's get another. Now we need paper. Let's take this one, copy SVG. Let's put it inside our another button. And now inside the third button we need scissors. So let's just scissors. Let's copy this one, SVG. Let's put it into third button. So we have 3 buttons. We don't see the icons, but we will fix it. So I will make it a little bigger. Right, now let's add some basic styling. So the first thing is that for the buttons, for the SVG inside, we want to make them bigger. So let's maybe do that the height of the SVG inside should be 40 pixels. Yeah, and that will work. Now I would like to make the buttons a little bit prettier. So first I will grab a random color from Color Hand to get some pretty color, and I will take this one. So for all buttons, I want the background color to be this. Let's add just hashtag here, and now let's see. Yeah, now let's also get rid of the border, so border 0. Let's add some padding of, I don't know, 10 pixels. Yeah, let's put the color of those SVGs, fill color, to be white. So hashtag FFF. For the button, I would like to have rounded corners. So let's do border radius, try with pixels. Let's do more, let's do 15. Yeah, that's much better. Now, even in this app, I would like to have everything centered. So inside our body, let's do text align center. Yeah, that will work. And for the buttons, I would like to have this hand cursor. So let's do pointer, cursor, pointer. Yeah, so I have this hand when I hover on the buttons. I will ident those buttons. And here above, I will put H2 maybe. What's your, or maybe just pick your, or maybe just click a button below. So then when we click on the button, what do we want to happen? We want to display computer choice here underneath. So under the buttons, let's put a break line here, and let's put another H2 that will be computer. Yeah, and under this H2 we want to have like a div with computer choice, computer choice. So what computer has chosen, and inside this div we want this div to look like those buttons. So I will add here comma and computer choice. Well, but it should be this big. So let's do display inline block, because the default for divs is display block, inline block. Yeah, so it's now this big. And well, to make it bigger, we need to put the width and height on the button and on this div. So let's do width of it will be 40 pixels plus a padding. So let's do, I think it will be 60 pixels. Same for the height. Yeah, and it has been miscalculated because now it has width 60 pixels plus the padding here. So that's why this is bigger than those, but we can fix it by doing border sizing, border box. So now the 60 pixels from the width and height is included with padding. Right, so now when we click one of those, we want to show a random pick for our computer, for our opponent. So well, first maybe let's put all those 3 SVGs inside. So I will copy the first one and computer choice, let's put it here, the first one. So now let's also put the another one. Yeah, and now let's put also the third one. Yeah, So we have it here, but well, first, those are black and shouldn't be. Let's see, those are white, but we styled it that all SVGs inside buttons should be white. They just changed that all SVGs, doesn't matter where they are, should be white. Right, so now the problem is that we have too many icons showing here, and those are not random SVGs, sorry. So let's hide them all. Let's put that inside the computer choice, all SVGs here should be not visible. So let's do display none. Yeah, so we don't have anything. And now when we click on one of those, we want computer to a random pick as well. And then underneath, let's show some text who won or who lost. Let's put maybe a third div here. That will be a result. And let's say result will be shown here. Yeah. Let's put some basic styling. So we will have some space here. So result class will have a margin on the top of let's say 20 pixels. All right, and now what? Now we need to add some JavaScript. So when we click on one of those, stuff should happen. So we get those three buttons, and on all those three buttons we need to add the onClick event, and we want to run a function. Let's call this function maybe I, or maybe my choice is. And now inside parentheses, let's put the name of what we pick. So the first button is rock, the second button is paper, and the third button is scissors. Yes. Now let's create this function. So let's create some JavaScript here, and it's my choice is with capital M. Yeah, why not? So it's the function my choice is, and here we'll have a param called, let's call this one user choice. And this can be either rock, paper, or scissors. All right, the first thing is we need to generate a choice for computer. So let's do a const computer choice like this. And well, here we will have three alternatives. So I will put them as strings inside an array. The first one is rock, the second is paper, and the third one is scissors. Now from this array, we want to get a random element. So let's do another brackets here. And here inside, we want to put a random number from 0 to 2. So 0 will be rock, 1 will be paper, and 2 will be scissors. So let's do const and random number from 0 to 2. So it will be math time math random times 2. And we want to round it down. So let's do math scale on this. And now we can use our random number here. So now when computer picks something, we can display it here. So how we can display it? Our computer choice div is actually here, and we have three SVGs, but we don't know which one is which one. So let's maybe add some classes. The first one will be rock, the second will be paper, and the third class will be scissors. So now we can go to this div, and we want to set to visible the SVG that we have inside computer choice. So let's do document query selector, and we want to get inside computer choice class name inside this div. So that's why I did dot computer choice. And now this value inside this constant is either rock, paper, or scissors, and it's random. So we want to pick one of those three. So let's do dot, and let's add this random value, computer choice. And now with this command, we will pick a random of those three, either rock, paper, or scissors. And now as you can see, those are hidden. They have this display none, but we want to change it. So let's do dot style, dot display, and let's do equal, and let's do block. All right. Now let's see if it works. If I click something, we see that computer has chose to take paper. Let's try again. Yeah, we get draw. Let's try again. We get draw again. Yeah, now I won. So now I can define if there's a draw or if I won, if the computer won. So I can compare user choice with computer choice to know who won or who lost. So first, maybe let's check if it's draw. Draw equals, and draw is only if user choice is the same as computer choice. So now, if we have a draw, we want to put a text here, draw. So let's do document, query selector, and we want to get inside this div here. So we can do just that result because it has this result class name, and we can put some text here with either inner HTML or inner text. Doesn't really matter. So I will do inner text to, well, just draw. Yeah, but if it's not, then else. Otherwise, if it's not draw, we need to find out who won. So maybe let's create a constant that will be named if user won. So let's do user won, and it will be true if I won, if the user won, and it will be false if I lost, if the user lost the game. So when the user wins, for example, when user choice is rock, and the computer choice is, for the rock, it will be scissors. So if I pick rock and computer picks scissors, then I won. But there are also other alternatives. So I will put the first one here in parentheses, and now I will add or, and now another parenthesis, and now another alternative in what is other way I can win. So rock wins with scissors. Another way of me winning is if I pick paper. So if user choice is paper and the computer choice is, well, if I have paper, then the computer needs to have a rock so I can win. So this is the second alternative. I hope I'm correct with those. And the third one, if I pick, so as the user choice is scissors, then the computer choice to win, so I win, will be if I have scissors, so computer needs to have paper. Yes, that's correct. So now we can check here underneath if user, sorry, it should be user won. If user won, then we can take this, let's just copy it here. If the user won, we can do you won, congrats. Otherwise, so let's do else. We can do document, well, let's just paste it again, and you lost. Yeah, now let's see if it works. I will pick this rock, and the computer has picked scissors. You won, congrats. Let's refresh. Let's do maybe scissors. It's a draw, but well, refreshing the game is boring. I don't want to do this. Instead, after displaying the result, so at the end of our my choice is function, I want to restart the game after, let's say, 3 seconds. To do this, we will use set timeout function, and the first param is a function that will be run. I will use an anonymous function. And the second param is after how long time, and it's in milliseconds, so let's do 3000. So inside the body of this function, so inside this curly brackets, I will tell what should be executed after 3 seconds. So after 3 seconds, we want to reload the page. So let's do window, location, reload. Yeah. So now if I click something, scissors, you won, congrats, and the page has been reloaded, and now click a button below, computer result will be shown here. It has been cleaned for me. So if pick, for example, paper, you lost because computer took scissors, and now it has been refreshed. You can change it to 5 seconds if you want it to wait longer. So I will take paper, you lost, 3, 4, 5, and it has been refreshed. I will take rock, you won, congrats, because the computer took scissors and it has been reloaded for me. So we can maybe make it a little bit more interesting. We can make this one spin. So before computer will take and will get a random choice, we will make this div to spin to make it more attractive. So this div called the computer choice, it's here. We wanted to make it spin. So let's add the spin animation first. So to do this, I will add the keyframes, and this one will be called spin. So this animation will be called spin. spin, and let's define that from on the beginning. So on 0%, you can do from, or you can do in percentage. I will do in percentage. On the beginning, the transform rotation should be 0 degrees. So let's do 0 degrees. And on 100%, let's make it rotate to 360. So this, but 360. So we have our animation. On the beginning, it will be like this, but after a specific time period, it will be rotated by 360 degrees. All right, now let's add a spinning effect. So let's say that computer choice, this div will be spinning. So let's add some extra CSS here, and let's put that animation on this div will be spin. The animation will take 1 second, and it will be infinite and linear. So now, as you can see, it's spinning. But the problem is it's spinning forever. And the thing is that after I click something, I want it to stop the spin. So let's say that to inform this div to stop spinning, we'll add another class name with stop spinning. So if computer choice has an extra class stop spinning, then the animation will be none. Okay, but now after we click something, we want to add this class name. So on the beginning of our function that we are calling after clicking a button, let's do that. We need to first grab this div. So let's do document query selector, and it's called computer choice. We need to update the class names here. So let's do class name equals, and well, we can either put the class name we already had and add another one, stop spinning. Was it stop spinning or stop spin? Let's see. Stop spinning like this with double N. So now if we click something, it stops. So that will be it. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. Have a nice day and see you in the next video.